Here are the strongest fighting pals of every single type and how to catch them so that you get the craziest damage output possible to make the new bosses a breeze to defeat. Alright, what's up guys? We're going to show all the best pals in the game damage wise and how to get them, including a few cheeky methods and glitches on how I managed to catch them and their stats when they are fully maxed out, along with a few secret benefits to each one and testing out their true power on other opponents. We're going to start with the weakest of these pals and work our way up to the stronger ones, but even this one is pretty good and has some unique benefits. The first pal is Shadow Beak, who doesn't have the craziest attack power without any upgrades at 685. You can see all the stats here, but we're going to add power fruits and pal extracts to all of the pals after this to see what their true power is once they're fully upgraded, so we brought a lot of those along with us. I actually have a special version of Shadow Beak called Victor in Shadow Beak. I got it when you were actually able to do the glitch to catch the tower bosses way back in the beginning of the game, and because of this I can't actually ride it, but regular Shadow Beak is actually pretty fast if you get their saddle. Shadow Beak is only able to get found in the third PAL sanctuary, which is at the top right of the map. Right up here, it's barely uncovered at chords 650 and 620. Now, the best way to actually find this pal is when you fly into the PAL sanctuary here, all the pals will spawn in and you're going to be able to see if you can get him right away. So there's also some soldiers here and stuff, you should definitely avoid those, but as you guys can see, you can make a quick fly through, and if he's not here, all you have to do is fly out of the render distance, and that way all the pals despawn, and then when you fly back into the sanctuary like we are doing, there will be completely new pals. So you can turn your spawns up to 3 if you want so you don't accidentally kill it. You can bring Arena Mercy, you can do whatever you need to do, but just fly in and out of the sanctuary over and over. There's an Orsarch, we're going to be talking about them later, and a lot of the times one will spawn, and if it doesn't, you can just keep resetting the spawns over and over until you finally find one. Shadow Beak is obviously the best dark type fighter and has access to an exclusive move called Divine Blaster, and also has a stronger dark type attacks when mounted. So let's go test this pal out in combat. We'll actually go back to the sanctuary and test him out over here. I can't mount him like I said earlier because he's actually a glitch pal, but you'll still be able to see most of his attacks. So he has some pretty cool ones. Holy cow, they don't do the best damage in the world, but I'm hoping he uses his Divine Blaster. He's just using his charges and stuff, but we want to see the exclusive attacks. So come over here, Shadow Beak, show us what you got. There we go. We can see some of his attacks now, including, I believe that's a Divine Blaster, which is just absolutely crazy. I wish I could actually ride on him so I can show you guys like the attacks one by one, but because he's the glitch tower boss and he has somebody else on him right here, you actually can't ride on him. I guess they never like coded it into the tower bosses or whatever, but I kind of wish they'd bring that glitch back because I really miss being able to catch the tower bosses. Now he's going to go back, but the next one on the list is actually Orsarch. I actually have the tower version boss of this one too, and he's absolutely huge. The second weakest pal, Orsarch, is not too exciting combat wise, but is still the strongest electric type pal. You can find him in the same place as Shadow Beak at the top right sanctuary, the one that we were just at, and its base attack is only 733. And it has some really interesting moves, but if you're looking for damage, even though this is the strongest electric pal, you're better off probably looking somewhere else. So let's go test them out real quick on a few different pals. We don't need to take him to a tower boss or anything. Like I said, his damage is only around 700, so it's not too crazy, but he does have some interesting attacks. There we go. I found some PAL genetic research soldiers for him to fight, and we'll take a peek at his attacks. The tower soldier ones are really cool, and he's using some fire attacks that I've seen Jetragon use, which isn't really what we want to see from him. We want to see him use his electric attacks. Oh, he just randomly shot it at a tree for some reason. Alright, here is a bit of a bigger challenge for him. Let's try him out here. Not you, Jetragon. You've had enough. Let's see Orsarch. So, he does have some pretty cool attacks, including his pretty strong lightning beam, which stuns the opponent. I'm not sure why he's not shooting back. I guess he's just a little bit surprised. And then he has some of his fire attacks, which aren't too amazing. And I wish I could show you the rest if I wasn't falling down here. There we go. Yeah, this guy, he's just getting absolutely obliterated. It seems like by far his strongest attacks are the lightning attacks. I'm not sure what this one is. I'll have to check. Some acid rain attack or something like that, which is pretty good, but yeah, not too much damage. He is, you know, pretty decent in battle, but his only really great attacks are the lightning attacks, which are just absolutely defeating this guy by far. But again, yeah, nothing too crazy. Pretty much what we're expected. let's get on to some of the better pals. So let's put him back, and we're going to skip the water and fire pals, really, just because it's Dorontide and Dorontide Ignis. Pretty much everyone already knows this. I mean, they're found in their own natural boss spots, and although they have pretty good attack damage and they look pretty cool and you can ride them and everything, most people just use these pals for base pals, so they're really not too exciting. Everyone already knows like what their damage is and what their attacks are and what they do. You can ride Dorontide in the water and swim with him in the new update, which is pretty cool, and they have pretty decent damage. Like, I believe the Dorontide Ignis has more damage than the regular one, but most people use this for like watering plants or cooking cakes or something along those lines, so there's really not much to show about either one of them. They're not really combat pals, even though they're huge freaking cool looking dragons. You would expect them to be used in combat a lot, but yeah, they're mostly base pals. After this, we're going to get into the actually like exciting combat pals, but we're also going to breeze past Anubis pretty quickly, since again he's mostly used as the base pal and does have an impressive 930, I believe, attack at base. And he's probably the most useful one out of these combat pals, which again, not really what we're talking about. We're kind of talking about combat specific, but he's definitely the most useful. He can be found in the desert right below me down here. And everyone knows we use him for building. Like, we use him for building, sometimes we use him for the base at mining. So he kind of like Dorontide, not too exciting. You don't really use him for combat, you use him for base. So we're going to kind of skip past him too. It's a shame how a lot of these guys are used just for combat or just for base things instead of combat. But some people might think that's a benefit, like they're so cool that it can be used for either one, and there's some specific ones that are better for combat. But let's move on to the grass/green type. Lilene is the strongest grass type, rocking an 860 base attack, yep, 864 base attack, which is pretty good, and has some really interesting moves like Bountiful Protection, which heals allies, and Dragon Meteor, which destroys absolutely everything. Lilene again is found at the Wildlife's Sanctuary, all the way at the top right of the map, where we found a bunch of the other towers. I mean, a bunch of the other pals. This is where we found pretty much everyone so far. She looks pretty cool, she's pretty big, but again, unsurprisingly, this is actually another base pal. So she can actually be used more in combat than like Dorontide, I feel like. Like, she has some nice stun attacks and she can heal you when you're fighting and everything. But I haven't really seen anyone fighting like tower bosses and stuff with Lilene. She's mostly just kind of a base pal again, which is a little bit boring. But we're about to get into the actual real interesting attack pals that nobody really uses for bases. For example, Palladius or Palladius or Palladius or Palladis or something along those lines. This pal is really interesting. The best neutral type pal, and in the new update, it's actually the fastest land pal in the entire game. Look how fast he runs, and look at this. You can triple jump with him. Holy cow. And he will move even faster and jump even higher at the end when we upgrade him with all of this stuff in our inventory. But right now, he is just absolutely absurd. He doesn't take any fall damage, obviously. I just jumped off my super high base up here. But being able to triple jump and his super high attack damage makes him a must get for any new world playthrough. And Palladis is found with his twin at the top right of the desert map, right up here. And is pretty hard to catch since he actually has his company, his little friend with him, his brother, his sister, his twin, whatever. So this is definitely one of the harder ones on the list to catch. One really cool, interesting, fun fact about him is you can actually run into pals with him and kill them. And if you don't completely finish off the pal, I'll go do this to a stronger pal in a second, it actually won't get angry at you. So if you're just like near a neutral pal and you run them over, it actually won't register that as an actual attack. So it won't run away from you, it won't like attack you, it really won't do anything, which means you can do this to pals like Mimog and everything, and you can avoid them running away. So let's see if this is strong enough to survive the charge. Oh, looks like you can only do it to like smaller pals. But yeah, what I like to do is I take this to a Mimog, the little chest pal, which gives you dog coins. And if you guys know, obviously it runs away as soon as you do any damage to him. But if you just run into them with this pal, it will do the same amount of damage and it actually won't anger him, so he won't run away. Definitely an underrated useful fact about this pal, and he just has some really cool movements. Let's look at his stats real quick. Yeah, almost a 1000 attack, plus he has pretty good defense. He's not really a base pal, he doesn't have any great work suitability skills or anything like that, which after all the ones we've seen in the past few elements and everything like that, that is definitely refreshing. I like that he is just a combat pal. He's here only to move around super fast and do damage, and he has some really cool attacks too, like this beam which just obliterates everything, plus absolute frost and holy burst. I really like how all these pals can learn like a ton of different skills and not just ones that like fit their element or anything like that. Like he has a bunch of absurd skills, and he's definitely one I would get for damage and everything. So the second strongest pal in this entire list, we got Frostellian with over a 1000 attack on base, 870 defense, and level 4 cooling. This guy is absolutely absurd. Look how big he is. He is one of the strongest pals in the entire game, and this pal is found at level 60 naturally at the very top of the map near the snow right here on the little water lake frozen. And he comes with a saddle partner skill which you can ride him, a level 4 cooling, some super high damage attacks. Look at this, a 200 damage attack. Holy cow. This pal is already a huge challenge to catch, but there is one little secret bug I've shown in some of my videos where you can actually place a wooden barricade in front of him while you're fighting this pal, and then will sometimes get it stuck or heavily reduce its attack damage, making it way easier to catch. You can also trick it into taking fall damage off the cliffs and snow mountain and put some fireplaces under it while it's sleeping. Pretty much any trick that works on other pals works on this boss, making it not too hard to catch. Now, to nobody's surprise, the last pal on this list and the best dragon type is of course Jetragon. This has the best partner ability in the entire game, which is this missile launcher, which makes it shoot some very strong heat-seeking missiles. Definitely really cool. He has the fastest mount in this game, and he's found on the volcano over to the left of the map right over here. So everyone already knows about this. He's pretty hard to catch, but I have endless videos on my channel showing a bunch of different glitches on how to get this. People have spent a lot of the time trying to cheese this pal, get him to do fall damage, get him stuck in other places, and I'm actually going to show you one right now just because this is worth showing. Even though this video isn't a video about Jetragon specifically, I'm going to show you one quick spot. Now again, I have several videos on how to do this fully, but I will show you guys just the spot you have to go to get him stuck and easily catch him. Alright guys, so I'm just going to make it really fast. I'm not actually going to do the little bugged glitch spot I want to show you, but just show you where it is. So Jetragon should spawn around here, yep, and you can actually lead him over to this spot right over here. You can see I already have a campfire here, and if you just sit right here, a lot of the times he will fly over and then he'll get stuck down there and start getting hurt by the campfire, which means you can actually just wait until he's very low HP and then catch him. So again, I've shown how to do this in great detail in other videos, but I'm just going to do a real quick speed run of this just in case you didn't know about it. If you attack him and then go over in these spots, you kind of have to like hover over the spots because they updated the game and made it a little bit harder for him to get glitched in here because they didn't want people glitching Jetragon, but it actually does still work. So if you just lead him over here and then hide behind the cliff right over here, he's going to jump right into this little underground area, and if you line him up perfectly with your fireplaces, he will get stuck there and start taking damage. So I only have one fireplace down there, and it's not in the best spot because when I was doing this glitch last time, he destroyed most of them. But make sure you fill this entire crevice down here, this little crevice, full of fireplaces, and then get him to come in here almost like I just did. He was a little busy over there and I don't know what he's doing now. But if you shoot him every once in a while and lead him to this one specific spot and hide over the edge right here, it's definitely the easiest way to kill him. Now, there's other glitches like getting him stuck in this little volcano hole and making him so you can just shoot at him with a bow all day, or again, you can try and catch him while he's sleeping with the back bonus. That is also another option. But that's pretty much it, guys. That is all the highest regular elemental pals. But now we're going to fully upgrade them real quick with these legendary items and see what their true stats are. So you can buy these using dog coins most of the time, but let's see which ones I don't have upgraded because I'm pretty sure I don't have a lot of these upgraded. Yeah, only Jetragon. So we're going to upgrade at these just real quickly and then look if their stats change too much, and then we're going to see how that goes. So yeah, we can use all of these. Holy cow, looks like we're already getting up pretty quickly. Wow, I just used a lot on Orsarch, but I'll skip past until we've upgraded all of them, and then we can look at their final stats. Alright, after they're all upgrading, this is kind of surprising that Beak and Dorontide are all the way at the bottom with still only 1,032 attack tied. Liline with 1,099. Axel and Orsarch are just normal Orsarch at 1,118. Anubis at almost 1,200. Dorontide Ignis over 1,200. A Xenolord at 1.15k. Palladis at almost 1.3k. And Jetragon at almost 2,000. So that's what all of the stats look like, but we have one more little itty bitty thing I wanted to include, and we're just going to use the Eye of Cthulhu. Where is he? Is this the boss? Right here he is. We just want to look at the Eye of Cthulhu real quick and upgrade him since we have some extra things. I don't think he's going to be too strong because the Terraria pals aren't that strong, and even though I don't even think he has a technical type, but we wanted to include him. So yeah, only 717 attack. He's not even all the way leveled up yet, so maybe that has something to do with it. But the Terraria pals really are not that powerful, and what surprises me the most is how low pals like Dorontide and Beak are, and how high pals like Palladius and Xenolord are. Obviously, I expected Jetragon to be at the top, and then I expected like Anubis to be mid-tier and everything. But I really thought Dorontide Ignis would be like second place. Instead, Palladis took that, and I thought Beak would be a lot higher too. Let me know what you guys think. Are you going to try and get all of these pals to build the PAL super team? If you have all of these guys out in the box, like, I'm pretty sure you're beating pretty much everyone.